Okay, today we'll start with the next topic, the very important topic that is of Mac. Media access control or medium access control. This will be a day-to-day life. We are using this media access control or medium access control. In some of the books, you can see the name of this Mac is media access control, or in some of the books, you can see the name of this Mac is medium access control. Both are same. Where this media access control, this media access control is of a physical address. Getting the point? Very important. Day-to-day life. This is a. It should be in your on your tongue. What is MAC address? MAC address, IP address. If you are becoming a network engineer, this is very important. MAC address, IP address, media access control, IP, internet protocol. MAC address is a physical address. It is also a hardware address or a burnt-in address. The three names has been given for this media access control. This media access control is of physical address. We call this one as a physical address. We also call this one as a hardware address. We call this one as a burnt-in address. Where you are going to see this media access control? Media access control you are having in your laptop for connecting the Ethernet. The port is there for connecting the internet port at the back side of your laptop. There is one port is there for connecting the LAN connectivity or the Ethernet. That is called as Ethernet. Ethernet port. That is called as what? Ethernet port. That is what it is going to have a MAC address. It is going to have a MAC address. That is a physical address. Hardware data, hardware address that is called as. Where we are going to see this MAC address? In your PC, that is your personal computers, in your laptops, in your tablets, in your mobiles also, we are using this MAC address. Why need this MAC address? We can working on IP address also. This MAC address is working on the layer 2. MAC address is working on which layer? Very important. Layer 2, that is data link layer. When which layer IP address is working? That is of layer 3, that is of data network layer. These 2 points are very important. Keep in mind. MAC address is operated on layer 2, that is of data link layer, and the IP address that is operated on the layer 3, that is of network layer. If you're coming from top to bottom, that is of 5th layer and the 6th layer. 5th layer is network layer. In this network layer, we are using IP address. And the 6th layer, that is we are using MAC address, that is of MAC. Very important. You have to keep in mind. MAC address is operated on layer 2, that is of data link layer, and the IP address we are using on layer 3, that is of network layer. Where we are using this MAC address? To identify the particular device, to identify the each device. This MAC address is identify the particular device, and the IP address is to identify the particular network. We are using the particular IP address to individual computers. Similarly, with the addition of this IP address, we are using the MAC address. IP plus MAC. MAC is must. MAC is must. So to identify the device. IP is operated on the network, your internet. Your internet is operated on IP. In which PC you have used, you are using which laptop, you are using which mobile, that is what your MAC. So to identify this MAC address, you have to go to the start window. Just you have to do it if you have time. You have to make a start window and make it search over there. In that search, just you have to type CMD. You have to make it start window, make it search. After searching, you have to type over the CMD. Just you have to make it enter. After entering the CMD, you will get a one message with a black screen. You will get one message with a black screen. So we are getting the numbers, physical address, two physical addresses. One physical address is for a Ethernet adapter. One physical address is for Ethernet adapter, and one more physical address is for internet adapter. So two physical addresses we are getting, MAC addresses. One is for Ethernet, one is for internet. So this is what we are going to use the MAC address. Who is going to decide this MAC address? That is IEEE organization. Institute of Electrical Electronics Engineering. So this IEEE organization is going to decide the MAC address of individual institute. Once this MAC address has been embedded, this MAC address has been embedded at the initial stage, we can't change this MAC address. We can't change this MAC address. We can change the IP address, but we can't change the MAC address. Keep in mind. That is called organizational unique identifier. We can say at the time of manufacturers, the vendor is going to give this MAC address to the particular institutes, particular company. This is your institutional MAC address. This is your institutional MAC address. So this MAC address can be used for your institute itself. If you want to communicate from institute to institute, you have to give this MAC address plus IP address to access that particular institute. This is very, very important. How many bits we are using in this MAC address are nothing but total 12 bits we are using. Total 12 bits we are using for the MAC address. We are seeing here, this is one of the example he has written over here, 00. It should be in the full point. It should be in the hyphen. It should be in the colon. The MAC address, different MAC address they have defined. The MAC address will be defined in terms of hyphen. The MAC address will be defined in terms of dot. The MAC address will be defined in terms of colon. That is 00 colon, 0A colon, 95 colon, 9D colon, 67 colon, 16 dot. So here, very, very important. The first three bits we can say, that is of 00 colon, 0A colon, 95. These three bits are called as octets. OCTECTS, octets. We can call it as what? Octets. Remember the point, very, very important. At the time of interview, the interview may ask, have you heard the name of MAC address? Have you heard the name of IP address? What is the meaning of octets? Thus, first three bits that has to be defined by the IEEE organization. Octets, which is defined by the particular company, it is going to give that particular company, that is first bit 00 colon 0A colon 95. That is called as octets. First three bits that is given by the IEEE, and next last 6 bits, that is 90 colon 67 colon 16. That is your institutional MAC address. Getting the point? The first 6 bits, that is 00 colon 0A colon 95, that has been defined by the IEEE organization. That is a unique identifier has been defined. Okay. Next 3 octets, you can say that is on octets, that is of 90 colon 67 colon 16. That is your network identifier of a particular institute. Network identifier of a particular institute. And this is why we need this. MAC address is nothing but at the time of manufacturing, it is going to assign into the network interface card. We are having the NKN center. At NKN center, we have one network interface card. Network interface card is operated on IP address. It is operated on network. See the word NIC, network interface card is operated on IP address. Once that MAC installed, the hardware has been installed, that is called as your MAC address. This MAC address is going to identify, very, very important, this MAC address is going to identify a unique identifier of each device on the given network, whatever the network they are using. Whatever the network we are using. If we are using the one PC in a particular lab, that PC can be identified depending on the IP address. Okay, this student is sitting this PC for 1 hour. For 1 hour, so we can check all the history, what he has searched in that particular PC. That has to be monitored through this MAC address and through this IP address. IP address is different for different PCs. The IP address is not similar to that of same this. So what MAC address is now is also different for different PCs. For example, I will give you, you can consider, you are seeing over here in the PPTs, that is 00:0A:95:90:67:16. This is MAC address for PC number 1. This is PC number A. I'm going to take the MAC address for PC number B, that is 00:0B:96:9E:68:17. This is MAC address. I'm telling you the example. This is a PC number B MAC address. PC number 3, that is of 01:0:0F:98:9F:69:18. This is a MAC address for PC number 3. The MAC address is different for different computers. MAC address is different for different PCs. Is there anything same MAC addresses we are using? So if a PC A want to send any information from PC B to PC C, easily that information has been reached to the particular B and C. If the MAC address is similar, if the MAC addresses are same for the two PCs, if the MAC address is same for the two PCs, the PC A is getting confused that to whom I have to send the particular data, to whom I have to send the particular information. It gets confused because the two pieces MAC address are same. So to whom I have to send this particular information or particular data. So at that time it gets confused. So whatever the frame is there, that is got lost in this. So whatever the MAC address we are going to assign to the particular individual pieces, those MAC addresses are different for different pieces. So easily we can identify each devices and each devices in a particular network. Which network we are using, in which device we are using, everything will be done by this MAC addresses only. This MAC addresses will be defined in terms of hexadecimal format. Hexadecimal format. It is represented in terms of hexadecimal format. Okay. And this media access control is operated on data link layer of the OSI model. And this is provided at the time of manufacturing. And this MAC address is going to install at the time of network, embedded in its network interfacing card. And if you want to do the rename of a particular MAC address, we can't rename the particular MAC address. So whatever the IP address we want to rename, we can do this by using address resolution protocol. You have to rename by using address resolution protocol. Can be used to associate a logical address with a physical or MAC address. So why we need this reason to have both IP and MAC addresses? I already told you that Why we require IP and MAC address is nothing but what? MAC addresses is used for identifying the device. IP address is used for identifying the network on which device which is operated on the which network. IP address we are used for the network layer, and the MAC address we are using for the data link layer. Which device has been sent to the particular data through this MAC address, and that has to be identified through the network. Which network we are getting through this? Which particular institute we are received from this information? We are receiving from some of the company. We are receiving from the universities. We are receiving from the different institutes. That has to be identified by using this IP and MAC addresses. So IP address to communicate a computer to the internet. For connecting the internet, we require IP address. MAC address to identify the device, we require MAC address. So that is what we are using, IP address plus MAC address. If you want to upload any page, any data on the internet, that request has been given to the IP address. So IP address has to be uploaded that page on the internet. That function has to be taken care of in this IP address. Everything will be done by IP address. Everything has to be taken care by this IP address. IP address is going to monitor everything, but if you at the urgent case, if something has happened, so they are going to check the MAC address. They are going to check the MAC address. By using IP address itself, we came to know that what has been lost, the which data has been lost, everything we can get by the network itself. But if we need a deep for a longer information, we are going to the MAC addresses. I already explained this third point. Both MAC and IP addresses are operated on different layers of the internet protocol suite. So we are using the OSI model, that is MAC address has been operated on the layer 2. It helps to identify the device within the same broadcast network, such as a router. The IP address can be used on a layer 3, which helps to identify the device on different networks. Means what? The MAC address will be operated on layer 2, that is of data link layer, and the IP address can be identified on layer 3, that is of network layer. That is what we are using. We have IP addresses to identify device through the different networks. We still need a MAC address to find the devices on the same networks. To identify, to search different devices on the network, we require MAC addresses. How we are going to allocate a particular channel in a particular MAC addresses. So MAC addresses can commonly use for local area network and the metropolitan area network. Local area network is nothing but your LAN connectivity. You have seen in your practical labs. The one computer is connected to the another computer through the LANs, local area network. So that local area network is having its individual IP address, and the PC is having its particular MAC address. So almost all the function medium access control is operated on a physical layer or the data link layer, which can be used for broadcasting purposes. There are two main types of channel allocation we are seeing, that is, one is static, second one is dynamic. What is the meaning of static? What is the meaning of static? That is stable. The fixed, the mixed amount of data has been transferred. Dynamic, the variable frames has been sending. If 100 byte of data is there, we can divide that 100 byte of data into 20, 20, 20, 20. That is of 5 times. But that is not taken care. That is not happen in static channel allocation. In this static channel allocation, whatever the preferred, whatever the byte is there, all the byte has been sent at a time, has to be sent at a time. That is what static, stable, fixed amount of byte. But dynamic, we can divide the particular byte into number of bytes. That is of 5 to 6 bytes, we can do it. That is of dynamic. This static channel allocation has been operated on frequency division multiplexing. That is of FDM. That is of FDM. Dynamic channel allocation, we are operated on TDM. That is of time division multiplex. You have already studied these 2 points. That is frequency division multiple access and time division multiple access. Static channel allocation, dynamic channel allocation. Static is FDMA, that is of frequency division multiple access. Dynamic, that is time division multiple access. Similarly, that is static channel allocation is operated on frequency division multiplexing. Frequency has been divided individual to the individual users with a specific bandwidth. With a specific bandwidth, whatever the bandwidth has been given, the same bandwidth has been assigned to the individual users. The frequency has been divided and the bandwidth is also divided with the equal sized portion. Once this bandwidth and frequency has been divided into the individual channel for the individual frame or for the individual data, at that frequency itself, at that bandwidth itself, that frame has been sent at the particular receiver side. So carrier has to do this to carry the signal from one portion to the another portion or from one signal to the another signal. So each user can be assigned to the one portion itself with a particular frequency band. If the frequency band is not available, he has to wait for a particular amount of time. So when there is only a small or fixed number of users, each of which has a heavy, so buffered load of traffic and carrier switches to the offices. So whatever the time is fixed and whatever the frequency has been given to the particular user, whatever the bandwidth has been assigned to the particular user or the particular frame, at that frequency itself, at that bandwidth itself, that has been frame has been transmitted. This is static. And for the dynamic, it is not happening in dynamic. In this dynamic, we are going to assign the time slots. We are going to assign the particular time slot. The station 1 is having a time slot of T1. Station 2 is having the time slot of T2. Station 3 is having the time slot of T3. Station 4 is having the time slot of T4. All the stations are having on particular time slots. If that time comes, immediately that frame has been sending. If the time has not comes, the station has to wait. So if you've done this in time slots, we can send more and more amount of frames. So independent stations for generating the frames. Once the frame has been generated, the station is blocked until the frame has been transmitted. Means what? The station 1 is ready to send the frame. Once it starts sending the frame, remaining stations has been stopped. Means what? If station 1 and station 3 is ready to send the frames at the same channel, the frame 1 and frame 3 will get collision. So this is going to take care of this here. Once the station is ready to send the frame, remaining all frames are been stopped or blocked for sending the frames. So single channel assumption, the single channel for all the communications. We are using only one single channel for all the communications at this time slot. Station 1 is sending, remaining all are keep quiet. So that is what it is going to take care. If the remaining stations are don't know, just it is going to observe the particular channel, it is free or not. So remaining stations are don't know the particular channel is idle or not. If it is stations are ready to send, it will get collision. The frames will get collision. Whatever the data has been there, that has been lost in that particular channel. So single channel for all the communications send and receive, and all the stations are equivalent, same. Collision happens if the transmission of two frames overlap in a time, the collision occurs. Means what? The time 1 The frame 1 is for time 1 and the frame 3 is also sending at the same time. At that time, the collision is going to happen. Why? Because we are using the single channel for a communication. We are using the single channel for a communications. So all stations can detect collisions. A colloidal frame must be retransmitted. Whatever the frame has been collided, that is overlap over there, you have to retransmit back that frame again to the particular receiver by seeing that particular channel is idle or not. Continuous transmission is there and slotted time has been assigned to the particular stations. Your number of stations, if you're having the 4 stations, continuous transmission has been taken place with the time slot has been assigned. With the time slot has been assigned to the particular station. How it is going to sense? Carrier is going to sense all the stations. Frame 1 is, station 1 is sending. The carrier sense is going to sense the remaining or blocked. Stations can sell if the channel is in use before trying to use it. Before sending any of the frames, station 1 is sending station 1 is sending the frame, so that all remaining frames, remaining station has to be keep quiet. So no carrier sense, station cannot sense the channel before trying to use it. If there is no frame has been sending, if no frame has been used in the particular channel, that has to be sensed by the particular user. So this is what the overall concept of media access